All right, hey everyone, welcome back. So we're going to be doing a updated video on McKee's N914 rinseless wash. It's going to be the same type of format that I've done with Absolute and ONR, which other ones? Wipeout, Adams. So same type of format, but just with N914. So I'm going to be redoing videos for this one, Carpro Echo, and finally Pure Rinseless in that same type of format. Kind of go in depth with the product and what it is, and kind of just go over its use and its performance of the product as well. I'm eventually going to do a video here comparing a polymer-based wash against a surfactant-based wash. So I have some Absolute in the Adams bucket. We'll be doing that on another car here shortly. But N914 has been around for quite some time. This actually filled the void for those of us who were using Meguiar's D114. That product was phased out because it was due to low sales, so it didn't survive. So we, some of us were looking for that product that was just a dedicated cleaner. And for those of us who didn't like using ONR back then, and so then McKee's came out with this product here to kind of fill that void. So they state it's a 4-in-1 formula, hyper-concentrated, eco-friendly, and the reason they say it's a 4-in-1 formula is because you can use it as a rinseless wash, a waterless wash, a clay lubricant, and a paint prep. So the dilutions are on the back. This has the standard for rinseless wash, the 1:256 or 256:1, which is essentially 1 ounce per 2 gallons, which is what we're going to use today. Waterless wash and clay lubricant is 1 ounce per gallon, which is 1:128. I've never used it as a waterless wash. I've used it as a clay lubricant. It actually does pretty well as a clay lubricant. And a paint prep at 1:8, so 1 ounce of water to 8 ounces of water here, or 1 ounce of product to 8 ounces of water. I've never used it as a paint prep. I heard it's pretty grabby, but I've kind of moved on from polishers that need a paint prep prior to a coating. So this is the older bottle here, so it has the older label, but nothing has really changed here. So it just goes into the 4 pieces here, and it says right here, N914 creates a protective layer lubrication that prevents marring and swirl marks caused by dirt, grit, and synthetic clay alternatives. No nonsense formula in McKee's N914 will not alter the look, feel, or performance of your wax, sealant, or coating. This highly concentrated formula does not contain protective polymers or gloss agents. It's a pure cleaner with nothing extra. And that's what started this whole thing about leaving nothing behind. And so we're not going to get into all that. Look, if the chemist is telling you it doesn't leave anything behind the surface in terms of durable protection, then take what the chemist says as factual. Do not take what others are stating, meaning other users saying, "Oh, it leaves something on the surface." Okay, again, don't get stuck into that philosophy here or that ongoing discussion here. Whatever the chemist is telling you, that's what the product is designed to do, and that's what's relayed to us as users. So again, don't overcomplicate the wash process. Don't play chemist, because we are not the chemist of the product. That's where people kind of really go insane about and get triggered about certain things about a product. So again, don't focus on all that. Anyways, there's even surfactants even do leave something behind the surface, minimal or not. Just take an example of a car wash soap. It's those are surfactants. They do leave something behind the surface, even if they claim that they rinse free. So I pulled up the product page, and it covers the same thing what the label says, just a longer format here. How much does this go for these days? So 32 ounces will set you back $25. This is a 16-ounce bottle, which they no longer make. So I don't know how much that was at the time. Okay, so somebody had stated in another video, I think it was the one for Absolute, I think. I don't recall which video. Either way, it was in a recent video, a recent comment, stating that this product does not soften water. And I've never had a problem with water spotting or anything like that, streaking from any rinseless wash I've used. And again, that's going to be dependent on the hardness of your water. So if you want to just avoid that, you can use distilled water, or you can shove a deionized system, or you can get deionized water in your bucket and you can use these products. So or a water softening system in your place here. Okay, so it tells you right here on the product page, water softener. Do you have hard water? N914 helps solve that issue. Simply add an ounce to your bucket containing your regular car wash. The advanced surfactants in N914 will help soften the hard water. Again, the chemist is telling us that it's going to soften the water. We have to take that as factual because it states right on the product page that it does from the chemist. So there it is. So for that person who stated that, it tells you right on the product page that it does. So I prepped this bucket here with 3 gallons of water because I'm going to take some and use it on the pump sprayer, and the rest is going to be N9114. So I had to mix 45 milliliters of product into 3 gallons of water, which is going to give us our rinseless wash format. So just shake it. One way you can tell that it's a surfactant based product is it will foam when you shake it. Okay, so we're just going to pour this out. So 45, and this has a watermelon scent. And you know, there's always this thing that people don't like this product. Some people think it's the best. Some people don't like it. One thing you have to keep in mind is you have to use a product to determine if you like it or not. You can't just take other people's comments and then run with it, because it only takes one person to state that a product has a shortcoming on a specific feature, and then in that then it only takes one person to run with that, and then that spreads, and then next thing you know, we're into like this, what happened to PNS with bead maker, and it became a dust magnet, and then we're trying to resolve that issue to kind of stop spreading people from abandoning that product. So it's that type of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in here. Just a bit more in here. Okay, so I've hit the line there. I actually do like this this pump sprayer from Merilix. The non-foaming one I think is great. The foaming one, it's kind of like, I do like it, but it's kind of like a love-hate thing with that one. So I'm actually going to buy me a large IK foamer, especially the new one that has the automatic pressure thing on there when it comes out. I think I'm going to invest in one of those. So I'm going to just pump up the pump sprayer, and then we'll get to washing the car. Now I'm going to be washing the Camaro. I'm just doing a rinseless wash on this, and the reason I'm doing a rinseless wash on this is because it's not heavily dirty, and I did want to showcase the hydrophobics of the coating, but I was not ready to do a full wash because I'm going to be just doing a rinseless wash so I can take off the wheels and start coating the wheels. I haven't had time to do that. I've been running out of time lately, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I got enough air in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an empty spray bottle. I rinsed this one out here. I'm going to go ahead and grab me some in the bucket, some N914, and I'll show you the reason why. People like using a drying aid. You can use this as a drying aid, just don't expect miracle slickness with this product. This is really for touch-ups if you miss a spot and you need to come back and wipe that area back down. That's what that's for. So yeah, so let's take and see if this thing will bead N914, because one of the things about a surfactant-based rinseless wash is that it lays a little bit more flat than some other products. But you can see that Diamond Protech coating is actually very hydrophobic. Look at that. That's the glass coating. Here's the paint coating. So again, it depends on how hydrophobic your coating is. It may reject it. Yeah, I like this pump sprayer because of the amount of pressure it produces. Because I'm in the garage, I can actually work a larger area. So I'm going to soak this. Man, that Diamond Body is pretty sweet, man. The thing's just rejecting that water. Look at that. Normally N914 will sit flat on the surface. But again, this coating is only 2 weeks old. Now, one of the things that people are going to want to look for with the Diamond Protech coatings, I can actually see the beads on here look really good, and it's encapsulated the dirt within the bead here, so it's pretty cool. One of the things about this coating that I think people are going to look for is some sort of drying aid that doesn't alter you know, the properties. You know, you can use something like Dream Maker. I used a little bit too much because I was playing around with the hydrophobics. You can use something like Dream Maker if you wanted to, or Throttle. You know, they're not intended to leave protection behind. Okay, so I'm just using them ultra black sponge today. Like I said, my Camaro's not too dirty because it's, when I drove it for a couple weeks, but other than being outside while I was at work for a few hours, it sits in the garage. Just go ahead and clean this front glass here before I take it back into the bucket here. Like I said, N914 it's been a good product. You know, there's really not. You know, I understand people don't like it, but you know, it's a good product. It does a good job. You know, they have the mentality, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I mean, it just works. And you can see that the coating is just super hydrophobic. It just takes that water away from the surface. But normally what you see from a surfactant-based rinseless wash, as you can see it here, is it tends to sit a bit more flat on the surface versus running off like a polymer-based rinseless wash. That's just the nature of the product and the way it's made. That's just the chemistry of it. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just, you know, kind of just letting you know that that's one thing to keep in mind, is, you know, it is going to sit more flat versus some of those polymer ones that will run off the surface like an O&R, an absolute wipeout. Just get this bottom piece, and I'll come back and wash the back. I'll just take this with me. I'll tell you what though, it does glide really well on the coating. The only thing is I can't fit this sponge way in there, but yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Okay. So again, if you wanted to use a drying aid, you could. You can actually just dry it off from the surface by itself, like so. And then you can come back and mop up that. Again, one thing you're gonna keep in mind is N914 is not slick. All right, there's none of that stuff in here to make it slick. If you wanted to, you can actually take a little bit more of itself. Just add a little bit more lubrication on the surface, and then just wipe it off. So again, there's multiple ways to dry it off the surface. And like most rinseless washes, you don't need a drying aid, right? Because they're designed to be wiped off safely from your paint, especially now that it's clean. And so I'm not too concerned about that. Once it starts to flash off the surface, most of that is gone. And so I kind of just want to showcase that with that in here. So I probably use a little extra on my painted surfaces versus the glass, just to kind of add lubrication. If I was only using this to wash and dry. If I wanted to use a topper, like maybe I wanted to use Dream Maker to kind of give me a little bump in gloss, then yeah, I could use that on the surface as well. Okay, come back, wipe off the excess. And then you're kind of done there. And I'm using very little pressure as I'm coming with a secondary towel to kind of clean things up. So yeah, just keep going around. Dry the car before I lose this here on the. And if you, like I said, if you're just using this by itself, it's still going to work. And you don't need a drying aid with the rinseless wash. And just people like touching their paint and putting something on the surface. Now I would definitely use one if I had soft paint. Okay, cool. So that's taken care of. So I'll just throw a little bit more on the surface. Flip it to another side of the towel. Now, is it as slick as something like Absolute? No, it's not. But again, that's just the nature of this product. But it does clean well. And I know people are going to ask, does it clean better than Absolute? Ooh, that's going to be tough because I think Absolute does a good job as well. You know, O&R does a good job. But people are so infatuated with the that it doesn't leave anything on the surface. Just wipe the bottom. That diamond body coating does feel slick under the towel. It just doesn't feel slick when you touch it with your hand. So let me add a little bit more here because it's starting to dry out on me. So if it starts to dry out on you, then yeah, just go ahead and spray it down. Grab your towel. Have to be careful here because it's really soft paint on that part. And then the next thing is, you know, you're going to get gloss out of this product. Since it doesn't have any glossing agents, the answer is no. So just, again, most of you are going to be using a topper of some sort while you're drying. I'm just showcasing that the product, you know, itself all right, so that's it for the wash process with, let me put that in the bucket, with N914. You can see how easy it is to use. Very user-friendly. It does a good job cleaning. It's not the slickest product if you're going to be using it just as a washing and drying part, but it's, like I said, it's just designed to clean. You know, it's not going to leave any gloss enhancing agents on here. You know, it's just a surfactant-based product that's just going to help clean your surface. It does a good job at cleaning the surface here, and I like it. You know, I've always liked N914 or N914. Geez, I'm throwing an extra one in there. I always like the product. I think it does a good job. You know, just cleans well. And if you're just looking for just a dedicated cleaner, then maybe this is it. You know, because I think the cleaning power is better than Optimum. I think it is better than Absolute. It's not as good as Finally Pure Rinseless, but the problem with Finally Pure Rinseless is it will degrade your waxes or sealants. It's not going to degrade your coating, but if you want to use it on a wax or sealant, it's going to degrade it. And so this might be a place where you use N914. Like I said, for me, I just think it does clean better than some of these other ones in terms of giving a deeper clean. But yeah, overall it looks good. I mean, like I said, the car is freshly polished and ceramic coated, so you know that most of that gloss is going to come from there. And if I wanted to, I could use you know, Dream Maker, something like Dream Maker on the surface to get that extra pop. But because I wasn't ready to do a bucket wash, I didn't want to clog up the surface with some sort of topper. So that's why I decided to just use a rinseless wash and just dry the surface without using anything on this on top, so that I don't inhibit anything from taken away from the beading of the coating, because I do want to show the beading of the coating directly with the hose, you know, and a nozzle to kind of just say, look, here's the performance that you're going to get from the Diamond Protech lines of coatings. But again, I didn't want to make it too much of a mess, even though it got kind of messy here with the rinseless wash thing. But I didn't want to take the car outside, spend an hour washing it with the wheels and all that, when I'm going to just go ahead and wash the wheels outside. I'm going to take the wheels off and start coating those here today. So I don't want to make that much of a mess outside, because it would have taken me longer to wash the car, wash the wheels, wash the car, pull it back in, dry it off, put a topper on it or something, and by the time I take the wheels off, I'm already like 2 hours into the whole thing, when I can just rinseless wash for like 30 minutes, take the wheels off, go wash them outside, bring them back in, polish them up, coat them, at least coat 2 of them today and then 2 tomorrow. So that's really the plan for this car. So again, that's just the N914. I think till this day, I still think it's a good product. If you're just looking for a dedicated cleaner, this is it. Again, there's multiple uses on this thing. Like I said, I've never used it as a paint prep, so I don't know how it works as a paint prep. I've used it as a rinseless wash and a clean lubricant. Like I said, I really don't use waterless wash products by themselves because I like rinseless washing more than waterless washing. I think waterless washing introduces more risk than a rinseless wash. So hopefully this helps. We're giving you a product showcase on N914, how to use it. Again, if you're just going to be using this by itself, it's perfectly safe to dry the car. If you want to use a topper, for example, if I wanted to use throttle on the surface here, I could just spray it while I was drying the N914 off the surface. But again, most rinseless washes are designed to be dried safely from your paint without scratching. So keep that in mind, that you don't always need a drying aid with a rinseless wash. With a regular bucket wash, I'd probably go ahead and use a drying aid of some sort. So again, thanks for watching. If you guys have any comments or questions on N914, go ahead and post down below. I know everybody's going to share their experience with it, and I know people are going to compare that. This isn't any better than some of these products, and like I said, it's mostly a placebo effect for some people, and some people are going to say that this product is better. It's all personal preference, and brand loyalty is always a factor. No matter what, somebody's going to have some sort of brand loyalty to products, and it's hard to get away from that brand loyalty because we want our product to be the best. That's what we want, and so that's one hard thing to get away from. But for me, I try to be as open-minded as I can. But again, there's other products on the market that do a good job. I just like using N914 for strictly just cleaning. But most of the time I'm coming with a drying aid, so it doesn't really matter if it's leaving anything on the surface or not. I think for me, like I said, I just mentioned, I think that it does clean better than some of these other ones. So again, thanks for watching. If you guys have any comments or questions on this product, by all means, post down below. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, so stay tuned.